I never imagined a rainy night would change my life forever. I was leaning against my apartment window, watching the drops crash against the glass, lost in my own thoughts, when I heard a soft knock on the door. Strange, no one ever came to visit. Especially not her. Her name is Emma. She moved in next door a few weeks ago. I barely knew her, only the occasional wave in the hallway or a fleeting smile when our eyes met. But tonight, standing there drenched and shivering, she looked different. Vulnerable, yet daring. I opened the door, my heart skipping in a way I hadn't felt in years. She smiled, just a small, teasing curve of her lips, but there was tension in her eyes. "Hey," she whispered. "Mind if I—" She didn't finish. She stepped closer, hesitant. I noticed the small cut on her arm and the tremble in her hands. "Are you okay?" I asked. My voice sounded too loud in the quiet apartment. She shook her head slightly, biting her lip. I need to get down from the fire escape," she said. "But I can't do it alone." The fire escape? My stomach lurched. It was narrow, slippery from the rain, and one misstep could be fatal. I didn't know why, but I felt this sudden surge of protectiveness. "Jump," I said before thinking. "I'll catch you. Trust me." Her eyes widened. Then she smirked. "I'm heavy. Brace yourself." There was humor in her tone, but her grip on the railing told me she was scared. I swallowed hard, my pulse pounding. "It's okay," I whispered. "I've got you." We had met briefly a few times before, nothing more than polite nods. But tonight, all those invisible walls vanished. It was just us. Rain, fear, and a strange, magnetic pull neither of us could explain. I climbed out carefully, keeping my eyes on her. Every step was a test of balance and courage. My hands were tense, my muscles tight. I could hear her breathing, sharp and uneven. "Okay, now," she said, her voice trembling. I held out both hands, bracing for her weight. She jumped. Time slowed. Her body pressed against mine, heavier than I expected. My arms strained, my heart racing, not from the physical effort, but from the intimacy of it. Our eyes locked. She was laughing, shaky, breathless. "See? Not so bad," she said, teasing, yet her fingers clung to my shirt like a lifeline. We stayed like that for a long moment, soaked to the bone, just holding each other. The rain blurred the world around us. I realized I didn't want to let go. My chest ached, but it wasn't from the weight, it was from something I couldn't name yet. Something dangerous, something beautiful. When we finally stepped back into my apartment, dripping and laughing nervously, I felt a shift. Something unspoken passed between us. Something neither of us had expected. Over the next few weeks, we fell into a rhythm neither of us planned. Late-night conversations through my window, cups of coffee shared on my balcony, small acts of care that spoke louder than words. She had this way of noticing the smallest things, the way I preferred my tea, the exact moment I needed a laugh. And I found myself waiting for her, thinking about her smile when I woke up, replaying the way her hand had felt in mine on that fire escape. Emma wasn't perfect. She was stubborn, impulsive, and sometimes painfully honest to the point it hurt. But I realized I didn't want perfect. I wanted her. All of her contradictions, all of her unpredictability. One evening, as we sat on the balcony watching the city lights flicker, she turned to me. "Do you ever think about that night?" she asked softly. "All the time," I admitted. My fingers brushed hers. The contact was electric. "I was scared," she said. "But I also felt something I didn't expect." "Me too," I confessed. "I wasn't just worried about you falling. I was. I don't know, worried about myself falling into something I wasn't ready for." She laughed softly, leaning against my shoulder. "Yes," I said, almost breathless. "Into you." Our connection grew in those quiet, stolen moments. It wasn't dramatic, not at first. Just two people slowly letting walls crumble. But I could feel it building, an undercurrent of something dangerous and irresistible. And then it happened, the night that would test everything. I came home later than usual, exhausted from work, only to find her standing on my doorstep, rain-soaked again, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and defiance. "I need you," she said, voice trembling. I have to do it. But I can't alone." The fire escape again. My heart sank. "Emma, no. It's too dangerous," I said, panic rising. "I have to," she insisted. "Please. I trust you." I felt that pull again. That strange, reckless part of me that wanted to protect her, to prove to her that she wasn't alone. "Jump," I said, almost automatically. "I'll catch you. Trust me." She smirked again, the same teasing edge that had first drawn me in. "I'm heavy, brace yourself." And then, she leaped. This time, it was different. I caught her, yes, but it wasn't just her weight pressing into me. It was the weight of everything: fear, trust, desire, the unspoken truths between us. My heart pounded in a way that was no longer just adrenaline. It was the intensity of love, raw and terrifying. We collapsed onto the balcony floor, laughing and gasping for breath. But beneath the laughter was something deeper, something neither of us could ignore. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, I wanted more than fleeting moments. I wanted everything. But love isn't always simple. Emma had her own life, obligations, fears. And I had mine. There were nights I lay awake, replaying her laugh, the way her fingers had tangled with mine, wondering if it was worth the risk. Love always asks for risk, but this was different. Weeks turned into months. We fought, we argued, we laughed harder than I ever thought possible. There were moments I thought we might break, when the world outside our tiny bubble threatened to crush what we had. Family expectations, past heartbreaks, our own insecurities, they all whispered doubts into our hearts. One night, sitting across from each other in a nearly empty cafe, Emma took my hands in hers. "I'm scared," she admitted. Her voice was quiet, almost fragile. "I don't know if I can do this, us." I squeezed her hands gently. "I know," I said softly. "But maybe that's what makes it real. Maybe love is supposed to scare us." She smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "And yet, I can't stay away." Neither could I. And in that moment, we decided. Not because the world allowed it. Not because it was easy. But because we couldn't imagine a life without each other. Months later, we're still figuring it out. We still fight, still argue, still have moments of doubt. But we also laugh, and hold hands, and make coffee exactly the way the other likes it. Every rainy night reminds me of the leap she took, and the leap I took, too. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if love will always be enough. But I do know this: the night she trusted me, when she smirked and whispered, "I'm heavy, brace yourself," I caught more than her. I caught a chance at a love I never knew I deserved. And I never want to let go. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.